So moving on to the second part of ethics then, we're looking at safeguards against these threats to our ethics, these threats to our principles. So what safeguards can they be? Okay, well, 3 levels really. First of all, at the audit firm level, this could be things like rotating the engagement partner. So if we rotate the engagement partner, what will happen is the engagement partner won't get too close to the firm that we're auditing, and so that familiarity threat disappears. Next things that we can do are at the firm level is obviously do some training on ethical matters and training at an appropriate level for the role so that they're aware when their fundamental principles are being questioned. We could have quality control procedures. This ensures that independence is considered in all work performed by the audit firm. Consultation is another one. So this just means that issues can be discussed both internally and externally if needed, and that procedures are in place so that we can do this. We can consult people about ethical issues that have come up. Look, are we independent enough here, or whatever the issue might be. We could have ethical codes of conduct that we follow within the firm, and of course we could have our own internal controls. So there's some of the things that you should mention in your exam when you're thinking about safeguards against being unethical at the audit firm level. What about the profession then? What can they do? Well, they can take disciplinary action. So disciplinary action if the ethical principles aren't followed. And the profession regularly suggests new practices and procedures that will improve auditor performance. So things that they've said are that one. Rotating the engagement partner, that's what the profession suggests that we do, and maybe make it compulsory. It's not compulsory at the moment, but they're the sort of things that's been thought about. Audit committees, making sure that there's an audit committee around. Exams and CPD, make sure that you're always up to date and you understand these latest threats. And corporate governance, their ways as well of ensuring that we run the business properly and our ethics aren't questioned. Okay, what about the individual then? What can the individual do? Well, CPD, continuing professional development, stay up to date, contact with fellow professionals, because if you've got some ethical issues, then they will have as well. And so it will come to pass. You'll get to learn about it before it happens. So contact with them to informally discuss these issues and problems. And maybe have an independent mentor as well that you could turn to discuss individual ethical threats. Okay, so that is safeguards. Heading now over to what do we mean by being professionally sceptical? So, professional scepticism is a healthy scepticism. Healthy in terms of it will ensure a good audit. And you want to think of it as being, first of all, having an inquiring mind. Okay, so that you always challenge things and that you're always kind of looking for, paying attention to indicators of material misstatement. So you're always paying attention to or looking for indicators of material misstatement. Okay, but having an inquiring mind. Another thing that you could say it is that everything you get, you say to yourself, is it supported by consistent evidence? So everything that you find, think to yourself, particularly if management tell you something, is it supported by other evidence that I've got that's consistent with this? And then finally, make a bit of room for myself, you want to always check that any assumptions that are being made by management, make sure that they're always reasonable. So when it comes to the exam and you see some assumptions, you say that you should challenge those assumptions. You should challenge them, you should understand them. Okay, and that is part of being skeptical. Don't just accept assumptions. Challenge them. Try and understand them. Don't just accept what management are telling you. Have an inquiring mind. Think, is it supported by consistent evidence? Always think to yourself, is this an indicator of material misstatement? Okay, that will do. Ethics comes up a lot, so please make sure you do all the questions I set for you here, because it really does come up a lot.